Hi friends, my name is Jacqueline Rose and this is my energy oracle reading for the week of the 1st, March 1st. I can't believe we're in March already. So I picked 3 cards for you. The first card is Mercury, open communication, get weight off your chest, speak up with love, and be heard. My favorite color. Okay. And then the second card is time and tides, oceans, spells, and rituals. And the third one is the Page of Wands. Okay, and so I'm just going to read you the message for the very first one. It is open all levels of communication now. Important messages, information, and insights are being shared. You may hear from an old friend or family member, or have the opportunity to finally understand a loved one you have not had an easy time with. You may be able to clarify situations where you feel you weren't heard properly or were misunderstood. Get things off your chest in a loving way so that you can be clear, so you can clear all roads to love in your life. Listen to communication is a two-way street. Mercury is here now to allow you to hear clearly and be heard. Okay, and so how I read the definition of this and how I'm going to interpret it is going to be a little bit different because I'm not going to read the meaning. So I think this first card is indicating that there might be, and I think this is with everybody, that there might be times that you said things out of anger and not always in a loving way, including myself. I have, let my ego get to the best of me, and a lot of times I'm aware now and I catch it, but this may indicate that there might be past people coming in and situations that were obviously they weren't cleared. And we want to really get rid of a lot of resentment, and especially for 2020 and moving forward in our life period, to get rid of these situations that kind of just like hang over our head. So there might be people coming into your life unexpectedly. So it could be an ex, it could be an old friend, it could be an old family member. Like the list goes on of miscommunication with people, right? And so this is saying that when this does happen, or if this does happen, that you need to try to think about how to do this in the most loving way. This is not always the easiest thing for me, but I do my best to try to step forward. And I really give up a lot of, I don't want to say give up my power, but I always ask the universe to please give me the right words. And sometimes some words come out of my mouth and I don't even know where they come from. So that's what may be the ritual part of this card, time of tides and ritual. I want you to ask, maybe if there's a situation, let's say you get a text or you get a phone call from an ex or from an old friend. I can think of a few situations right off the bat that are still hanging over my head. But you want to ask your guides, your angels, God, Allah, Krishna, whoever you believe in, ask them to give you the right words. And give your power to them. You'll be surprised. Like I said, there have been times where it's just like, that wasn't even me. Like these words came out of my mouth and that I don't even know where they came from. Because my ego-minded self would say something really rude and really mean. And so I know sometimes when a higher source is taking over. And I think that this is what it's saying. It's saying that if these opportunities do come in your life in the next week, to take those opportunities to do things with love. And I always say I love you. This is my main go-to. So these are my tips, is like when there is a situation that has come up in my life, a dispute, I will say, I love you and I see your point of view, because I really personally try to see everybody's point of view. I try to see where they're coming from and understand that, because I don't believe any right or any wrong. I just believe that people from their point of view, depending on their situation and their stories that they tell themselves, believe that they're right. And they are right from their point of view. And I believe I'm right from my point of view. But a lot of people get stuck in their ego and only going, well, I would do this if it was me, I would do this. Well, you got to remember, it's not you, and it's not your stories, and it's not your ego inside your head. It's not, you have no clue what people are going through. So you want to see that, you want to try to see their point of view. Again, I have an analytical mind, so I sit there and I try to figure out these stories. So if something comes back into your life, or just go over in your head, like, I had to do a lot of this in the last 2 years. I started going over in my head with situations that were not so good in my life, and I had to start going to see their point of view. And let me tell you, it is crazy. As soon as I started releasing a lot of this resentment that I had towards family members or friends, and let's say I hadn't talked to him in a while, all of a sudden they would call me. And it's like I released it. I released the emotion that I had stuck inside of me, and the hatred and the aggression. And I just was like, oh, I get where they're coming from now. Like, I almost sometimes, there's been times where like I can imagine in my head certain people in my life and imagine them as a child and imagine the situations that they've gone through. And even though we may have been in a dispute, like, my heart just goes out to them. I'm like, okay, I get why they're the way that they are. And I really, really feel for them. And I get why they reacted in that way. And so when the dispute, or if somebody was to contact you again, then you can have that love in your heart. I guarantee you, when you start letting go of resentments, then that opportunity to wipe the slate clean will come back in your face. It's crazy, at least for me. It's really weird to me. But it will come back, and you can choose, like, there's sometimes that there's people that I've had disputes with, and I've chosen not to clear up the dispute. I've chosen that I just didn't want to go there because I tried to clear it up and it didn't work. And it's like, I don't need that in my life. You can choose that, but this is saying that you have an opportunity to do things with a loving heart. So I'm saying, if somebody does come in your life that's unexpected, somebody from the past, that try to see their point of view, see the hardship that they had, and see why they do what they do, and then try to come at them in a compassionate way. When you tell somebody, hey, I love you, but I was in this frame of mind, and I, didn't get my point across. I was in my ego. I'm really sorry that I did that. I'm sorry that I made you feel some sort of way. When you say that to people, if they come back to you and are aggressive towards you, I mean, I hate to say it, you've done your best. You've done what you needed to do with love. But most of the time, people will come back and be okay with it. They'll just be like, thank you so much. Thank you for telling me that. And I did feel some sort of way, and I accept your apology. So this might be the week. And the time and the tides, that to me really speaks about, like, asking. It is a ritual type card. And I don't know if you... rituals can be prayers. Rituals can be anything. I do, full moon ceremonies, right? And I release my intentions. That can be a ritual. A ritual can be your prayers every night. A ritual can be writing down your prayers for other people. That can be a ritual. So if somebody does contact you, you can sit there and write down your prayers for that person. But allow some time to really sit and think about it, and think about what your response will be. When you pause and you think about things, for me at least, I was able to come up with a different conclusion and let go of the resentment that I had towards a lot of people. And a lot of the times I really didn't know the other side of the story. And once I was able to see the other side of the story, or even talk to somebody from the past and then tell me, like, hey, I apologize for this and this happened, I'm like, oh, that wasn't the story I was telling myself for years. I told myself something completely different. And if I would have known that, then I wouldn't have had resentment for the last 20 years of my life, right? And so the Page of Wands is somebody that is, this is a great card. This is somebody that is outgoing and charming and generous. They're young, they're full of life. And if you look at the card, I think if this does happen to you, if somebody does come into your life and they are, popping back in, this guy in the Three of Wands, he's like looking for the future. So I think if you can let go of these resentments, then it may open up a whole lot of doors for you. That's what this tells me right here. Like you have the strength to be able to do this and stop for a minute and use the right loving words. And this, I'm going to tell y'all people, once I let go of some resentment, man, my life opens up. It was a complete, like, I told myself so much BS stories. And once I was able to let go of that, like, it is such a true statement that you let go of these things. It's more for you than it is for the other person. And it is so true. Like, it completely changed my life when I was able to, like, forgive and understand where they came from, and really not just understand, like, oh, I get where they're coming from, but really, really have a kind heart and go, all of us were children. All of us had some kind of wound with inside of us. All of us tell ourselves these stories of why people do things, and, we're not good enough. All of us do this. So if you can really remember that with other people, that we're all human and we're all doing the best we can, it really just kind of opens up a new door. It gives you this softer heart. I had a really tough heart for so long, and once I just kind of let things go and just get like, nobody's perfect, we're all just trying to do the best we can, it just like releases so much in your life. I hope this message helps somebody. I hope you're having a beautiful weekend, and we'll have a beautiful week. Much love.